Now we want to take a look at your target market. So this is the type of people you already have as clients in your business, or that you would like to attract as new clients in your business. So first up, we want to look at the age. What type of age are your current clients? What type of age are the clients you love the most? What type of age are you trying to attract? Now, in the past, I've had most clients kind of sit within the 20 to 40 range. If they specialize in skin and anti-aging, menopause, then it might be the 40 to 60. However, what I do strongly advise against is having a target market age range of, 16 through to 60. And the reason being is a 16-year-old girl versus a 35 to 40-year-old mom and a 60-year-old potentially grandma, they are all different ages with different types of concerns, and they're attracted to different kinds of things in life. So the 16-year-old girl is not going to be buying an anti-aging service, nor will the 6-year-old woman be buying, full glam eyelash extensions. They might, but it's highly unlikely. And so if you try to have this really big target market age range and you're trying to attract anyone and everyone, it's actually a disservice to your business, because it makes it really confusing, not only in your messaging, but also, if people are seeing images of before and afters and the model is not similar to their age or how they look, then it's harder for them to relate. And so this is another tip. When it comes to your marketing, you want to make sure that the images you're using for your Facebook ads or the images you're using in your promotional materials, if you're trying to attract new clients in a certain age range, that you're using a model or image that they're going to relate to. Once again, it's just seeing themselves in someone else's shoes in that same story, that same journey. It's going to make it 10 times more relatable than seeing, for example, makeup models. You see all these beautiful young women who are getting this makeup done, and it makes it really hard for the 35, 40, 50, 60-year-old woman to then relate to as much. So just be really mindful of the age range you select for your target market. When you look at who are the most consistent clients, who have stable incomes, who have disposable incomes, who prioritizes these services, that's another factor that you may want to consider as well. So the gender, what type of people are buying your services? Females, males? What demographic are you trying to market to? Next up is your location. So if you're an online business, are you trying to attract everyone around the whole wide world, or is it just in your local area, or is it across Australia? If you're a brick and mortar business, then who are you trying to attract? Is it your local suburb? Is it the entire city? Is it a whole regional area? I want you to get clear on your location and, give yourself a bit more of a specific, how many kilometers within your radius. Next up, we have occupation. So what type of jobs are these people working? When I was running my beauty salon, I was naive. I wanted to attract anyone and everyone, and it took me a long time to let down my ego and go, nah, I'm just going to go for this type of person. And as soon as I did, everything started changing. So I used to have young schoolgirls through to uni students, through to nurses and healthcare practitioners. And I actually found that the nurses, the healthcare practitioners, those type of people were really consistent. And me being young, I didn't, kind of put two and two together until later. And I realized, a lot of the clients that I'm attracting that aren't showing up to appointments, that aren't respecting or valuing my time, they're young. They're working casual jobs. They don't have consistent income. So as soon as their income drops, they drop me. And so when I started focusing on who are those higher value clients, higher income clients, who are the people that really prioritize these services within their lives, that's when I found a lot more consistency in my clientele. So, people who have full-time jobs and they're in a high income job versus someone who is a single mum, there's a lot of different challenges that you may face between the single mom versus the person with the secure full-time job who has that high-end income. And this is just not stereotyping as in like that's every single mom or that's everything, but you can just see where I'm coming from, I hope, in the sense that some groups of people or demographics are going to struggle to pay for your services more so than people who do have the income. So for me, with my one-on-one coaching and consulting clients, I know that if they're making under $100,000 a year, they're probably not going to be able to afford the investment into coaching long term. They might do a month and then like, oh, I'm not really sure. So that's why we have this community. It's more low ticket, it's more accessible for them, and it still provides them with great value. And so you can't sell mansions to broke people. You can't sell them to homeless people. And so getting really clear on, the types of occupations and jobs these people are working, that will also help you find those communities that they're hanging out in, the types of pages they're following, and you can locate them and engage with them a lot easier. Next up, we've got relationship status. So, are they a mum? Are they single and gone to Europe every summer? Like, what's their relationship status look like? Because that will showcase a lot of their life. Who's in control of the spending? Do they have their own money, or does their husband pay for everything? Relationship status is going to have an influence whether we like it or not. Values. So what do they value? Essentially, you'll find their values, your brand values, they should align in some senses. So they're going to value high level of customer service. They're going to value things like high quality products. There might be other people out there, and this is not going to be you, because if you're watching this video, I'm going to call you out. But if you're trying to be the cheapest, you buy the cheapest products you can, and you are always running discounts, the people that you attract as customers are going to be bargain hunters and people that value getting the cheapest deal they can. They don't value you as a service. They value how much they can save or the cheapest deal. So, for every business and brand, your values will also attract the people who share those values more or less. So make sure that your values are of a high standard, because you will attract more people who have that same high standard. Interests. So this is great for knowing what are they doing in their spare time, where are they hanging out, how can I locate them on socials, communities, in person, so that I can make more connections and bring that brand awareness in. So interest, let's say you're looking for a less price sensitive client. Well, they're probably not going to the cheapest gym in the area, but they're probably going to go to Pilates or yoga or something like that. So then are there pages in your local area that are Pilates or yoga studios? And can you go and see who's commenting and engaging and following, and go find some of your ideal clients hanging out there? Is there a certain event that comes up every year and you find that's where my ideal client or target market go to or hang out? So by getting to really dive into your target market's mind and think how they think and what they like and what they do, it's going to make your life 10 times easier when you're creating marketing messaging, when you're trying to connect or find them on socials, and go and engage with them. And then lastly, their online presence. So what platforms are they hanging out on? If they're Gen Z and they're young, then they're probably mostly on TikTok and Instagram. If they are 20, I would say, 20 to 35, Instagram, definitely. Facebook, more so the 25 to 40 plus. And then as you get past that 35, 40 plus, majority of them are just hanging out on Facebook. And the reason being is some people have all the platforms, do not get me wrong, but you've got to think about that age group and what platform was most relevant to them when it first came out and they started using it, because people don't seem to like change that much, unfortunately. As humans, we need to grow, we need to evolve, but some people like to stick with what they're familiar to. And so getting really clear on who your target market is, what platforms they're hanging out on, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to make decisions on where your marketing efforts are spent. So if someone's always on Instagram and you're going, yeah, I'm going to post everything on TikTok, like why are you wasting time putting it on TikTok if they're all hanging out on Instagram? So just something to think about. Now, there's a little bit more of a brainstorming thing you can do here, like what platforms they're hanging out on. We just spoke about that. What interests, beliefs, and values do you both share? What value can you provide them with? So if you brainstorm a few ideas for that, that can give you inspiration for content that you can talk about to really connect with your audience. And then what are some relevant keywords? This is something I really need to drive home with you. So when I talk about relevant keywords, especially with skin clients, sometimes they talk a different language. So skin therapists are talking about these AHAs and BHAs and appeal. For the everyday person, if they hear, I'm going to, book in for appeal, that does not sound amazing. Like, you probably can't see it right now, but I got sunburn on the weekend and I've been sitting back enough so people can't see it, but my skin is peeling. If I heard the word peel, I would just think it's peeling like right now. Not good. It's even the same as lash techs using, I'm using 0.05, 5D fans, in a dull eye. No one knows what that means that isn't a lash tech. So don't use wanky language to try and impress other therapists and specialists. Use the language that your ideal client will be using, because they're not going to understand, they're not going to be able to connect, they're not going to be able to ask you any questions because they just think you're speaking alien language. So when you go and look at your content, your captions, your stories, the way you DM people, use simple words that they understand, because if you don't, it's going to go straight over their head. Now, the next activity we want to look at doing is just brainstorming some ideas. So if we look at your target market, what are their hopes, dreams, and desires? So you might choose one service or you might do it for your business as a whole, but what do they really want? Is it they want more confidence? Is it they need some self-care time? Is it that they really want that latest trend? They have to follow the trend. They have to be ahead of the industry. Like, what is it that they want? Then we want to look at their challenges, fears, and frustrations. So what's currently annoying them? What's making their life hard? Why are they coming to you in the first place? So it could be, I used a DIY home kit and it just ruined my lashes. Or it could be, no matter when I try to do the waxing at home, it just doesn't work. I'm not able to rip the hairs out properly. Or it might be, I've tried box dye in the past, but my hair went green. What are those challenges, fears, and frustrations for them? Then we want to move into barriers and uncertainties. So often we think about selling our services or products, and it's just the price point, and we think discount will solve the problem. It doesn't. Not anyways. It attracts the wrong people, if anything. But hopes, dreams, and desires, that's like, what do they want? What are they struggling with? Okay, we've got those two key pieces of information, but what about the things that are actually stopping them from buying your service? What type of beliefs have they heard? Those myths, previous bad experiences, not understanding what it actually is. I want you to write that down, because all of these things in this table is going to be great pieces of content for you to start really connecting with your ideal client and your target market.